That'd be Tampa, the Saints, and so on.
Yep. Falcons, Panthers.
Let's do the South. Where do you want to start with that one?
Well, I like the Falcons. I think they're going to take this division.
Okay.
I think the addition of Kirk Cousins is really good for them. He's a consistent quarterback. He's not a top 10 play quarterback, but he's a very consistent quarterback
He's seen the playoffs enough that I feel like if they make it there, he won't be as stressed out about it as some of these rookie quarterbacks. They're going to be nervous Nellies walking into any kind of playoff game after the regular season.
Well, not only just the playoffs. It's like when you get late into the season and you're in the playoff hunt, and it's like every game
matters.
Counts. Every game matters. You know, he's going to be a quarterback that's going to know how to handle those situations. He's going to perform well. He's going to revive Kyle Pitts. He's going to revive Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts, I'm telling you, if you can't get Kittle or Kelsey, go for Pitts. And you can get him in the 4th or 5th round because people done forgot about him. But guess what? Kirk Cousins going to bring that man back to life.
And they still have Bijan Robinson running the football.
Robinson, Drake London, like they got a team over there, and they got a competent quarterback play.
Tyler Algier.
So I think they're going to do well. I think they're going to take this division. As you can see here, I got it 11-6. They lose to the Steelers. They lose to the Eagles. They lose to the Chiefs. First 3 games of the season, they're going to look like they fell apart. They're going to look like, oh, Kirk Cousins was a bad idea. 3 losses right in a row.
Oh, no.
But then they're
going
to
do the right thing.
But then they're going to go and they're going to sweep the next 5 against the Saints, against the Bucks, against the Panthers. So, bam, there's 3 in the division. Bam, bam, bam. And then the Seahawks, and then the Bucks again. So they swept the Bucks by week 8. You know what I'm saying?
So they're going to lose 3 and then go on a 5-game win streak.
And so now they're sitting at 5-3, and it's like, oh, maybe Kirk Cousins wasn't a bad idea because now he's rocking his chains with his shirt off and shit. They're doing TikToks and Snapchats in the plane and stuff after wins.
He's done met all the Atlanta rappers.
And then Dallas comes into town, and Dallas whoops them up, and then they
hurts his feelings.
And then they go and they travel to New Orleans, and they lose to the Saints, but they beat the Broncos like everyone else in the league's gonna do, and then they beat the Chargers, they beat the Vikings, they beat the Raiders, and they beat the Giants. So they go on they lose 2 games, and then they go on another 5-game win streak, and then they lose to the Commanders, and then they beat the Falcons to end the season, and they pretty much sweep their division. I think they had 1 loss in the division.
1 loss
in the division.
In the division, okay, that makes more sense. I was gonna say, no, 1 loss. I don't think that's gonna happen. And Atlanta's gonna lose a couple of them.
Yeah.
So then we got the Panthers, and that so-so squad, I guess you could call them.
Yeah, I don't have much faith in the Panthers. I mean, Bryce Young, he was a real small quarterback. Real small quarterback. They didn't do real great last year. They didn't improve much, so I mean they're going to get some wins because they are in their 2nd season, so I do expect some kind of improvement from last year. Like I think they got 5 wins last year.
They got the Chuba Hubbard. So they'll be running a Chuba. Deontay Johnson for receiver. Leggett. Terrace Marshall Jr. Okay. None of these names are striking me. David Moore. Jack Plumer, I'm assuming, is the backup quarterback.
Yeah, so it's like you see they didn't put like any kind of help there for Bryce Young at all. So it's like, how can he be a better quarterback if you don't put nobody in place?
He's got nobody to help teach him how to do anything.
They haven't had any draft capital.
They gave him Adam Thielen as like here's Here's
He
a
had that
receiver
last
you
year,
can
yeah.
throw to.
He had Adam Thielen last year, and I think that's probably why they got the 5 wins, because he did have at least a decent receiver.
Somebody you could throw the ball to that wasn't gonna fuck it up.
Yeah. So yeah, they go 6-11. They're not very impressive.
Understandably so. With that roster, I wouldn't call an impressive team either way. Then we got the Saints, the New Orleans Saints
With Derek Carr.
with Derek Carr throwing the ball.
Do they still have
Looking for. They still got Taysom Hill too. They can probably do some
their secret weapons?
secret running back plays.
Do you know that
He's
like,
gonna run the ball. I guarantee it.
Do you know that last year fantasy leagues started listing Taysom Hill as a quarterback?
I did.
Because he was a tight end, but he was doubling as a quarterback, so it was like screwing leagues up because they were able to have like 2 quarterbacks playing. If you had Taysom Hill, like
If you got
in
lucky that
prime,
week
yeah.
and he was playing,
yeah, like you basically had 2 quarterbacks playing.
set him in as a tight end and he still gets a throwing touchdown.
Yeah,
Like,
for
what the
real.
fuck?
Yeah. I remember that one game I got lucky. That was when he ended up quarterbacking the whole game. So it was like I blew my opponent out that week.
So they got Jordan Mims, Kendra Miller, Chris Olave,
Chris Olave, yeah.
Olave. Again, not
Alvin Kamara still. So
James
it's like
Robinson.
their running game is solid as long as they still have Alvin Kamara. I mean, that guy seems like he doesn't know how to age. Like he has the fountain of youth.
He's
in
like
his back
he's
pocket
like
or
Dalvin
something.
Cook in the heyday. Like,
Yeah, like for sure. And Derek Carr, he's a decent quarterback. He's competent, just like Kirk Cousins. He's not great. He's not in your top 10.
they got a guy.
I would put him in the top 15, but I wouldn't put him in the top 10.
One of their cornerbacks is named Kool-Aid McKinstry.
They just
Kool-Aid McKinstry.
Yeah, they drafted him this year.
What a name this guy's got. 195 pounds, cornerback. Kool-Aid McKinstry. I'm rooting for you, Kool-Aid.
Let's go Kool-Aid.
You got to beat out Lattimore for the job, so good luck with that. You're gonna need it.
You got a good teacher there.
Then again, he'll teach you how to get into a fight with somebody. Lattimore's known for getting into on the field ruckuses. Scuffles. We'll call them scuffles.
Scuffles is a good word for it. You got the Bucks. Oh wait, we gotta go. So 7 and 10, we have them listed at
The Saints.
the Saints. Going 7 and 10.
So it sounds like they do okay.
Yeah, I mean Derek Carr, like I said, he's competent, but I think it's mainly because of their schedule. So like they lose against the Packers. We have them losing against the Giants.
They lose against the Giants? Hold on. When did we
losing against the Giants?
When did we say that? Giants got to win one, I guess. That's what that is.
The Rams, they lose against the Browns. They lose against the Panthers. The Bucks, the Chiefs, the Falcons, Saints, Dallas. I mean the Eagles and Dallas.
I was just gonna say, I'm like, they lose to themselves. That's unfortunate.
It looks like they beat themselves.
Yeah, at 7 and 10, I'd say you beat yourself. You didn't make.
I mean,
50%.
we could probably make an argument that they could win 2 more of those games. Like, definitely, we can make an argument that they win the Giants game. Like, that's obviously would end up being a fluke with like how riddled the Giants are and like keeping Daniel Jones and letting Saquon Barkley go. Like, that organization is just
falling apart
right now. And we can make an argument that they could probably beat the Panthers as well.
It's very possible they could come back and take the Panthers.
But it's a divisional and it's at Carolina, so I'm thinking like that defense, and I think the Panthers, honestly, like it's just that given Sunday where the Saints aren't ready for it.
It's the Giants' turn.
Anyways, so the Bucks.
On to the Bucks. Tampa Bay. They've got, what is it? Baker Mayfield. They picked up cornerback Bryce Hall from the Jets. So they got a nice little, defense building in the process over there. Trying to do a little better than they did.
They still have Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, two great.
Those are top tier
receivers. If you the duo, if you have a top 5 duo receivers, they're in the top 5. They're probably right now ranked. They're probably number 2 or number 3 behind the Eagles, Devontae Smith and AJ Brown. Obviously, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle are number 1.
Yeah. Tampa Bay never really had a problem scoring and whatnot. They needed help on defense.
Yeah.
They ended up picking up Jordan Whitehead also from the Jets, so they've been poaching up there, trying to get anybody that can pick up some interceptions for them, so that they can get the ball back at any time.
Yeah, and Baker Mayfield, he did great for them last year, so let's just hope that he can keep that consistency going, because he does have a habit through the years, that's what he does, it's like he starts a new job, you do really well, and then as you get used to that job, you get comfortable and stuff, and that's been kind of Baker Mayfield's MO. He did great when he got to Cleveland for the first 2 years, and then
they got comfortable
another
there.
2 years he was and then he went to, I think it was Chicago. No, it was not Chicago.
I don't recall that.
He went somewhere else, and he did good for the first year he was there, but then the next year he didn't do very well. So now here we are in Tampa. Year 2 in Tampa. So we'll see if we're going to get the good Baker Mayfield or if we're going to get the Baker Mayfield. That's really what depends on their schedule and their outcome. Because if you get the good Baker Mayfield, I can make an argument that they put up a better fight against the Falcons.
So he went from Cleveland to Carolina.
Yes, that's what it was.
Carolina. To the Rams. And then finally to Tampa.
He was a backup at the Rams.
Yes, he was not a starter at the Rams. He was a backup for Goff.
At the time.
2002.
At the time, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so if we get the good Baker Mayfield, I can make an argument, like I said, that the Bucs have a better game against the Falcons and maybe win one of those games and not get swept. And they have a better game, obviously, that game at home against Carolina at the end where they lose. Same with the Saints. Good Baker Mayfield, I can make an argument that they win 4 more games.
Than what we have listed there? And what do we have listed there as far as their final scores? 9 and 8. So 4 more games.
Would put them at 13.
They could be, so you're saying a potentially...
Number one seed
potentially in their division.
If Baker Mayfield performs the same as he did last year with this schedule, because we have them on losses against Carolina, we have them 2 losses against the Falcons. Like I said, a good Baker Mayfield could win one of those games.
Okay.
Loss against the Saints. I don't see him beating the Ravens or the Chiefs.
Nah, I agree with you on that.
The Eagles, maybe,
Nah, I think the Eagles run all over them. Honestly, I think they're gonna utilize some of their new weapons and just
3 games.
Take off.
So that would put them at 12-5. I mean, that would still put them fighting for number 1 seed in the NFC. If you have a good Baker Mayfield play, but I don't think, like I said, he has.
You need him playing top performance though. Because even last year, let's see, he had 364 completions with 566 attempts for a 63% passing. He did top 4,000 yards, so we got to give him that, a little bit of there. 28 touchdowns and 10 interceptions, so he's keeping the ratio good.
28 and 10.
28 and 10.
See, that's good. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that's good.
That's 1 and 3, basically.
Almost. Don't agree with it? That's too bad.
Like and subscribe anyways.